Meryl Streep, the woman who has revolutionized cinema over the years, has a secret list of actors she considers terrible, some of whom are very well known, even from her circle of friends. As expected, this has caused her many problems and is currently taking over the internet. The first on this list is the great Dustin Hoffman. The professional tension between Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman reached its most uncomfortable point during the production of Kramer vs. Kramer, where the on-screen chemistry that received praise hit a backstage relationship marked by fundamentally incompatible approaches to character development and professional behavior. When Streep joined the project, she encountered a well-established star whose method acting techniques and improvisational tendencies clashed with her meticulously prepared, intellectually rigorous approach. Hoffman's reputation for pushing boundaries during rehearsals and takes, including his habit of physically improvising without informing his co-stars, directly confronted Streep's preference for carefully choreographed emotional exploration. Crew members recalled several incidents where Hoffman's spontaneous choices left Streep completely unprepared, forcing her to step out of character and restart her emotional preparation. Meryl works like a precision instrument, said cinematographer Nestor Almendros. Every gesture and vocal choice has a specific purpose, while Dustin treats scenes like a jazz improvisation that can go anywhere. Their acting philosophies were so different that the director had to help a lot for the two very talented actors to work together. Interestingly, though they didn't get along, this tension helped make the fight between their characters in the film seem more real and intense, because in real life, they were also angry at each other. However, Streep never worked with Hoffman again, later describing their collaboration as professionally productive, but personally unbearable. In second place, we have the case of Kevin Kline. The creative confrontation with Meryl Streep during the filming of Sophie's Choice represents one of the most discreet conflicts in cinema, with an apparent on-screen harmony hiding deep differences regarding character interpretation and professional methodology. When director Alan J. Pakula cast them for his ambitious Holocaust drama, he imagined their theater backgrounds would create natural chemistry for collaboration. Instead, their alliance quickly revealed fundamental differences in how to approach and represent serious dramatic material. Streep's exhaustive research into the psychology of Holocaust survivors and Polish linguistic patterns sharply contrasted with Kline's more intuitive approach to character development, creating immediate friction during rehearsals. Meryl built Sophie from scratch, recalled production designer George Jenkins. Every variation in accent and every physical gesture came from months of historical research, while Kevin seemed to discover Nathan through improvisation and instinct. Their rehearsal sessions became subtle battlegrounds where Streep's preparation clashed with Kline's spontaneity in ways that didn't benefit either creative process. Tensions escalated when Kline reportedly questioned Streep's intensive work on the accent, suggesting her linguistic precision might be overshadowing the emotional accessibility of the character. Streep interpreted this critique as a sign that Kline didn't understand the necessary research base for an authentic period performance. What ultimately ended their professional relationship was when Kline, in press interviews, described Streep's method as too academic, implying that her preparation sometimes interfered with the spontaneous discovery of emotions. Streep never forgot this perceived slight to her craft, maintaining a polite distance from Kline in later industry encounters. Now we come to Jack Nicholson. The professional antipathy between Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson represents a fascinating case of how two legendary performers with incompatible approaches to their craft can generate immediate and lasting mutual disdain. When both were considered for potential collaborations at the peak of their careers, their first encounters quickly revealed philosophical differences about acting that made a productive partnership impossible. Streep's legendary preparation methods and her commitment to character authenticity directly clashed with Nicholson's more intuitive approach, which relied heavily on his natural charisma and channeling characters through his distinctive screen presence. Their few professional interactions at industry events showed barely concealed mutual contempt beneath professional courtesy. Jack represents everything Meryl considers wrong with modern movie fame, said casting director Juliet Taylor, who worked with both on separate projects. He's more interested in being Jack Nicholson than disappearing into characters, which violates her fundamental understanding of what serious acting should achieve. The conflict intensified when both actors were offered roles in several high-profile dramatic projects during the 80s and 90s, and Streep reportedly expressed concerns about Nicholson's commitment to character development versus maintaining his star image. Directors who knew both performers noted that Streep consistently turned down projects pairing her with Nicholson. Their mutual antagonism became more apparent when Nicholson publicly dismissed method acting techniques in interviews, calling elaborate preparation intellectual masturbation that hinders genuine emotion. Streep interpreted these comments as direct attacks on her artistic methodology, leading to decades of professional avoidance. As expected, the professional friction between Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin during their work on It's Complicated showed how even accomplished artists can be incompatible when their methods for comedy and character development come from entirely opposite premises. When director Nancy Meyers gathered the cast for this sophisticated romantic comedy, she expected the theatrical backgrounds of both actors to generate natural chemistry for collaboration. Instead, their collaboration soon degenerated into a carefully managed conflict that threatened to delay the production schedule. Streep's meticulous approach to finding authentic humor within her character's emotional journey clashed sharply with Baldwin's more improvisational style, which relied heavily on spontaneous line delivery and physical comedy decisions. Meryl approaches comedy like a surgeon, recalled script supervisor Diane Dreyer. Every laugh must arise organically from the truth of the character, while Alec sees comedic scenes as opportunities to show off. Their rehearsals became diplomatic exercises as both actors struggled to find common ground between preparation and improvisation. The conflict intensified when Baldwin allegedly altered dialogue during takes without consulting Streep, forcing her to abandon her carefully planned emotional rhythms to adapt to his spontaneous decisions. Streep's frustration with Baldwin's unpredictability was evident to the crew, who noted she often requested additional rehearsal time to regain the structure of her performance. What made this conflict particularly disappointing for industry observers was how their individual talents should have complemented each other perfectly, but their inability to find a collaborative rhythm showed that even experienced professionals can fail to achieve creative chemistry when their methods are based on fundamentally opposing philosophies. Next up, we have Jeremy Irons. The creative antagonism between Meryl Streep and Jeremy Irons represents one of the most intellectually sophisticated conflicts in cinema, where both actors trained in classical theater discovered that their shared backgrounds could not save them from fundamental disagreements over character interpretation and dramatic truth. When the two performers were cast for projects demanding intense emotional collaboration, their initial enthusiasm quickly turned into barely concealed professional contempt. Irons' aristocratic approach to character development, favoring vocal precision and physical elegance over psychological excavation, clashed with Streep's more democratic method, which sought truth through thorough research and emotional accessibility. Their few working sessions revealed two performers with similar training, but completely opposing philosophies on what constitutes authentic dramatic acting. Jeremy treats characters like beautiful objects that need to be polished and displayed, said dialect coach Tim Monique, who worked with both on separate projects. Meryl approaches them like archaeological sites that require careful excavation. Their creative differences went beyond methodology and included fundamental disagreements about the relationship with the audience and dramatic responsibility. The conflict intensified when, reportedly, Irons criticized Streep's accent work, accusing her of showing off technical skills rather than serving the story, suggesting her linguistic precision sometimes overshadowed the character's accessibility. Streep interpreted this as a sign that Irons didn't understand how authentic details support, rather than distract from, emotional truth. What made this confrontation particularly unfortunate for film lovers was that, with their combined talents, they should have formed extraordinary dramatic partnerships. However, their inability to respect each other's methods proved that, even at the highest levels of technical skill, collaborative success can't be guaranteed when personalities and philosophies are irreconcilable. Finally, Gwyneth Paltrow. The professional disdain between Meryl Streep and Gwyneth Paltrow perhaps represents the most carefully hidden generational conflict in Hollywood, where Streep's assessment of her younger colleague reveals deep concerns about artistic integrity and professional standards within contemporary cinema. When Paltrow emerged as a serious dramatic actress in the mid-90s, Streep watched her career with growing skepticism about her commitment to the craft versus the pursuit of fame. Streep's doubts about Paltrow's acting approach solidified in several industry encounters, where the apparent lack of comprehensive preparation by the young actress and her reliance on natural charm rather than technical skill violated Streep's fundamental understanding of professional responsibility. Their few direct interactions at award ceremonies and film festivals displayed formal courtesy, but concealed genuine artistic dissatisfaction. Meryl believes Gwyneth represents everything wrong with modern movie fame, revealed an industry insider familiar with both actresses' careers. She sees someone who achieves success through connections and appearance, rather than dedication to the craft, which undermines the standards serious actors have worked for decades to establish. The conflict deepened when Paltrow won the Oscar for Shakespeare in Love in a year when Streep delivered what many considered superior work, sparking whispered conversations in the industry about merit versus marketing in Academy voting. Streep's subsequent comments about preparation versus popularity were widely interpreted as a veiled criticism of Paltrow's recognition. Her antagonism became more evident through her constant refusal to acknowledge Paltrow's dramatic achievements in interviews, instead focusing her admiration on younger actresses whose work demonstrated greater technical mastery and commitment to research. This strategy of exclusion spoke volumes about the artistic valuation Streep placed on Paltrow. What made this dispute particularly relevant to industry observers was how it reflected broader generational tensions over artistic standards and professional integrity, still shaping the debate between serious acting and celebrity culture in the changing creative landscape of Hollywood.